Hi, I'm Shannon, owner of Pahrump Early Learning Academy, where we are more than just childcare.
Hi, I'm Monique Mitchell with KPVM Television. My children attend Pella and they love it. The curriculum they have is pretty amazing, and my children learn what they need at their level.
Not only are the children learning, they're having fun, and that's what matters.
I like Pella. They help you with your homework, and it's fun.
Give us a call today to tour our facility at 751-5335.
News 46 is brought to you by Comfort Hospice Care, where we give our patients and their loved ones peace of mind, knowing we provide the highest quality of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, call 751-0349. News is also brought to you by Golden Casino Group, where you'll always find great fun, good food, and fantastic entertainment, all at Gold Town, Lakeside, and the Pahrump Nugget.
Tonight on News 46, the first phase of a new park begins. Amateur radio exams will be held tomorrow, and a longtime director at the Pahrump Senior Center retires. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Friday, January 16th, 2015. I'm Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. The U.S. Supreme Court decided today it will tackle the issue of whether same-sex couples have a constitutional right to marry or whether states are allowed to ban gay marriage. The 9 justices are expected to hear oral arguments in April and deliver a ruling by June. Earlier this month, Florida became the 36th state in the country, in addition to the District of Columbia, to allow gay marriage. On June 26th of 2013, in its first ruling on gay marriage, the U.S. Supreme Court delivered a victory to gay rights advocates by rejecting parts of the 1996 Defense of Marriage Act in a 5-4 decision. The court ruled legally gay married couples are entitled to the same federal benefits as male-female married couples. However, it stopped short of a nationwide ruling that would have made gay marriage legal in every state. Well, there's going to be a meeting held on Monday night at the Bob Roode Community Center concerning the Kellogg Park development.
Kellogg Park will be the largest park in Pahrump. The site is 80 acres. The first phase encompasses 19 of those 80. So when we're finished with phase 1, there's 60 acres still left to be developed. So the more we get input from the community as to what they'd like to see, and we told them what the first phase would include, and that first phase was based on a survey that was done a couple of years ago. During the fall festival, we had a questionnaire that was handed out to people as they passed the booth, and they filled it out as to what they would like to see in a park. And so we tabulated their response, and based on that tabulation, we drew up what the park should include and how it would be laid out and so forth.
Monday at the Bob Roode Community Center on the corner of Basin and Highway 160 from 6 to 8 p.m. The community can come out, find out everything that you guys are doing, get involved, give their opinions. Also, is there a number to contact if they would like to contact you guys?
Well, they can contact the Pahrump town office. They can certainly contact me. I'm accessible. My number is 818-642-9449. And my email address is Eugene, E-U-G-E-N-E, Frank, F-R-A-N-K, one word, at SBC, Sam Baker Charlie, global.net.
And as we head into our first break, here's Jeff Simmons at the Pahrump Nugget.
Hello everybody, I'm Jeff Simmons here at the Pahrump Nugget. We'll start off with our stage bar this weekend. We got the 360 band. Come on down and enjoy some music. And our casino drawings every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 6 to 9. Every half hour you can win up to $5,000. Then on Mondays, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every 15 minutes. We have a hot seat drawings for $100 in cash. So come on down, put your cards in the machine, and win some money. And bingo, we got balls on the wall this month. They'll be Tuesday and Friday at the 1 and 7 p.m. sessions. No split pots and 9 p.m. session. And then Martin Luther King's birthday, January 19th, we're having balls on the wall again at the 11, 1, and 7 p.m. sessions. And let's see, we got no split pots every day at the 11, 1, 7, and 9 p.m. and all day on Sunday and Mondays. Kathy over GoTown, she has her paper only every day at the 11 o'clock session, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at the 11 and the 1. Paper only, no split pots. So paper players, go see Kathy. You probably have a good New Year, and we'll see you this week. Bye-bye.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community.
Welcome back to News 46. Patty Grubs is a wife, mother, grandmother, and author of 2 books concerning post-traumatic stress disorder. Her husband, Dave, of more than 30 years, recently took his own life after suffering daily episodes following his military career. David Grubs was a highly decorated U.S. Army sergeant who served during the Vietnam War. Grubs served in the Army's Company A 2nd Battalion's 12th Cavalry. Dave Grubs received the Army's Commendation Medal for heroism. He also received the Army's Bronze Star, 3 Purple Heart medals, and an Air Assault Medal. He was wounded at least 3 times during combat tours. The Department of Veterans Affairs says an average of 22 veterans take their own lives daily.
I wrote that book in 2009, and I called it Life Through His Eyes because I was trying to help families understand that when their loved one comes home from war, they're not any different. Their heart and soul are the same.
Family members sometimes will say that their loved one seems different when they come back.
Right. Okay. And that would be normal. That would be normal. Although, like David, because he didn't lose a leg or an arm or any piece of his body, there was nothing wrong with him. Okay. He felt like he was fine. Only I knew different. I watched him.
Let's talk about what he did in his service. Where was Dave? Because I know a lot of veterans are wondering where he served.
He is in the U.S. Army, 1st Cavalry Division, Company C, I believe. He was on the Ready Reaction Force in Vietnam for General Westmoreland. He never went into a base camp. They had one hot meal delivered to them weekly if they could get in to get them a hot meal. Otherwise, they ate out of, believe it or not, World War II cans of food. That's what they gave them. Vietnam, let's just say they didn't know who they were fighting. There wasn't a clear cut, you couldn't tell. You go into a village, you didn't know, was that village friendly or were they going to kill you? David spent the entire 2 years in the Army on the ground, digging foxholes, being blown up, shot at.
What he's seen and what he's went through is hard to determine because Dave wasn't very vocal about what he had been through over there. But one of the things that seems to affect a lot of these veterans is the fact that in that era and in the age group, it wasn't so common for people to speak out, especially military men, about their pain, about what they had been through. And there's a lot of groups that are offered, but it takes a while for them to trust each other. It takes a while for them to speak out. And that's something that military men, soldiers, are not very used to doing.
That's correct. And in my first book, that's why I wrote that first book, so that people would know that when their soldier or their Marine or their Navy, whatever their veteran, when they came home, they're going to be different. You have to remember they have the same heart and same soul, but they're going to be different, and it's baby steps.
If you or someone you love is suffering, there is help locally at the VA clinic on Calvada. The number there is 775-727-7535. Once again, that's 775-727-7535. The Department of Veterans Affairs provides a confidential toll-free hotline, online chat, or text for veterans through a Veterans Crisis Line. Veterans and their loved ones can call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255 and press 1. You can also chat online or send a text message, and I'll give you the number to text message. It's 838-255. That's 838-255 to receive confidential support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And if you need emergency help, please don't forget to call 911. The Pahrump Senior Center said a very special goodbye today.
We have just a little award for Donna, just a nice little certificate. And it says, Certificate of Farewell. We, the other side, do hereby proudly present this Certificate of Farewell to Don McIntosh with all the best wishes to you for the future, both personally and in any new business venture you may or may not undertake in your new revitalized life. Awarded on the 16th day of January 2015 by the members of the Senior Center, Board of Trustees, staff, and all our seniors. Don, we're going to miss them.
We operate a heck of a service for the seniors, and they need it, and they love us. And anyhow, I have, and I must say this, the most dedicated drivers that I've ever worked with. I mean, these guys are just fabulous. They're dedicated. They love their seniors, and the seniors love their drivers. I mean, believe me, if they get sick, so on and so forth, they don't show up for work, they're very concerned, and they want to know what happened to their driver. So
that's something that's really important, is that the drivers pay attention to the passengers, and if there's something going on with the regular person that they pick up, that they check on them, because that's what needs to be done, is that that some of the seniors who maybe don't show up that day, what's going on with them?
Well, you know, exactly. And so my driver will, say for an example, in the morning, knock on the door and there's no response, and which has happened several times. My driver alerts the officer, and the red flags go up, and we do welfare checks, so on and so forth. My drivers have followed up on individuals that are not feeling particularly well that day, and they will make sure that they get the necessary help, medical or whatever, because they do not just drop them off at the door and say, okay, good night. They make sure that they're home safe and sound, and they take into consideration their health, their needs. They want to know if they're eating, so on and so forth. They are dedicated to our seniors.
This started out the transportation department with just one truck that was doing the transportation and Meals on Wheels.
Yeah. It was a kind of a shabby operation in the beginning. And I remember when I did come in the first day, and Ola Smith and Ann were here. And basically, they showed me the office that I would be working out of and says, get started. So anyhow, they said, well, you should know what you're doing. You've been in transportation. So anyhow, it's been an experience, and I loved every minute of it.
How many trucks now, and how many Meals on Wheels?
We have 6 vehicles that will transport passengers, 1 Meals on Wheels, and 1 utility truck. So we have a total of 8 vehicles.
When we come back from this break, we'll tell you about a popular airline that might be going on strike. Allegiant Airlines may be looking at some problems in the future. Nearly 100% of the pilots voting have authorized a strike against Allegiant Air. The total vote was 465 to 8 today to authorize a strike. This does not mean that the strike is going to happen tomorrow or even next week. It does mean that they are forcing their hand to urge negotiations, stating that the airlines are continuing to disregard the federal court's injunction, ordering it to restore the pilots' work rules and benefits to previously negotiated levels. The union said it intends to move forward by seeking a proffer from the National Mediation Board. Once this has been completed, or to the extent that Allegiant remains unwilling to adhere, the pilots would be free to conduct a legal strike in the near future. The pilots have been in negotiation with Allegiant for 2 years with little to no progress. If you want to take your amateur radio license exam, there's still time. Dick Grady explains.
we're going to have a license exam session where people who want to get a new license or to get an upgrade to their license can show up, and we'll administer examinations.
And this is an amateur radio license. Tell everybody exactly what those are.
Well, amateur radio? Yeah. Amateur radio is, number one, a hobby. People use it to talk to other people. You can talk around the world with certain classes of licenses. No infrastructure at all. You just use your radio and a wire in the air. And it also has a serious side, which is emergency use in case the infrastructure goes down. We don't use infrastructure. We don't use internet. So quite often, well, example, we had a cable cut, fiber cable cut a couple of months ago. Phones were out. Hams were able to pass messages over the hump to Las Vegas.
And you guys are part of the Nye County Emergency Management when they need you there, huh?
Yeah, some of us, about 25 of us, are involved in the Amateur Radio Emergency Service. And we have proved our worth, like back when we had a town-wide power failure back around 8-9 years ago. We had the only communications in town.
So this is something that is great for a hobby and great for useful purposes. How can people get involved?
Well, to be able to transmit on the air, you need a license. It's 35 questions out of a pool of about 400 questions. The questions are publicly available online or in books, license manuals. By the way, we're going to have a study program in the morning of Saturday from 8 to 12 to prepare people for the initial license.
So people should start studying right now and then, of course, come to the study session right before the test is given.
If you want full details on the program, go to our website, which is w7nye.org, w7nye.org/news. And the first item up there talks about the entire program.
All right, and then once again, the date and time for the exams.
The exam itself is 1 o'clock until whenever.
Right on Surrey Lane, right off of Basin Avenue behind the Nye County Courthouse.
Yeah, it's an emergency management building on Surrey Lane, which is behind the jail and behind the courthouse, right across the street from the animal rescue.
And here's this week's Tails End Save a Pet segment.
Hi, I'm Darby here with Shada down at Tails End Animal Shelter, and today we're joined with Nick. This is Nick. He's about a 2-year-old Chihuahua mix. Just came in, owner surrender. He's located at Tails End Animal Shelter off of Kitty Hawk. Our phone number is 751-7020. Come and say hi to Nick. He's happy.
That dog is such a cutie pie. When we come back from this break, we'll have your weather with Noah Beacon.
News 46 weather is brought to you by your local dairy farmers. Dairy products are very important in maintaining a healthy body.
Hello and welcome back to News 46. Today is Friday, January 16th. Today we had partly cloudy skies with a high of 63 degrees. Your average temperature around this time of year is 58 degrees. Winds were coming from the south-southeast today at 4 miles per hour with gusts up to 6 miles per hour. The UV index today was 3, which is low. Humidity was at 27% today. Sunrise was at 6:55 this morning, and the record high in 1976 was 73 degrees. Well, tonight we'll have clear skies with a low of 37 degrees. Your average temperature around this time of year is 39 degrees. Winds will be coming from the north-northeast this evening at 1 mile per hour with gusts up to 4 miles per hour, so we'll have some low winds this evening. Humidity will be at 45%. Sunset was at 4:54 this evening, and the record low in 1964 was 23 degrees. Well, tomorrow we'll have sunny skies with a high of 66 degrees and a low of 40 degrees. Winds will be coming from the south-southeast at 2 miles per hour with gusts up to 5 miles per hour. Humidity will be at 33%. Sunrise will be at 6:54 tomorrow morning, and the UV index will be 3, which is low. For our 7-day forecast, we'll have a mostly partly cloudy week. Your high temperatures will be starting off in the mid-60s, going up into the high 60s around early next week, and then slowly working its way down into the low 50s around next Friday. Then your low temperatures, you'll be looking at a similar pattern. It'll be starting off in the low 40s, steadily dropping into the low 30s around mid next week.
Thanks so much, Noah. The Missoula Children's Theater will be in Pahrump for a residency January 19th through the 24th. That's next week. The two experienced directors will conduct auditions for Aladdin on January 19th from 1 to 3 p.m. That's Monday at the Pahrump Valley High School Auditorium. The auditions are open to students kindergarten through 12th grade. There will be 50 to 60 roles cast, and kids need to be available all next week for rehearsals. And on Saturday, January 24th, Aladdin will be presented at 2 and 5 p.m. at the Pahrump Valley High School Auditorium. The performance is open to the public. The cost is $5 per person. They have special pricing for families. It's $15 for one performance and $20 for both performances. And this is all brought to you by the Pahrump Arts Council. The Missoula Children's Theater haven't been out here for a couple of years, so we want to thank the Pahrump Arts Council for bringing them back. And for more information on the Pahrump Arts Council, you can give them a call at 751-6776. That's 751-6776. Find out all about them, become a member, and support the arts. And that's going to do it for this edition of News 46 from everyone up here at KPVM-TV. And, of course, out there on the radio, KACE Country 95.9 on your FM dial. We'll see you back here on Monday.